Captain's log, Earth date the 3rd of September of 2024. The time is 11:45 in the morning, and this is how it goes. I've got all my tools out, extension leads, my BS important stuff, sanders, saws, jigsaws, drills, posi drives, hammers, you name it. All the tools, or toys as I call them, right? Levels, you name it. And now I'm sitting waiting for batteries to charge, because I didn't charge them last night. I forgot. Great. Anyway, so I'm just going to chill out, and then once I've got this one battery charged up, I'll be able to charge the next one, and then I can continue doing the job that I'm doing. At the minute, I'm trying to work out the angles. Oh, excuse me. So what I was doing is I'm cladding, as you can see, and I've started to cut out the radius, and now I'm just busy working on getting the infill. So I did a 45 here, and I got that far with the cut, and then I had to stop because the battery died. Right. Anyway, so that is the next bit to make this line, and then we'll have a nice 45 join over there. So it's a bit time consuming right now. I wasn't expecting to wait for a battery. Hey, we do these things as we get older, we forget things. Laters all, bye. Captain's log, Earth date the 3rd of September of 2024. The time is 4:10 in the afternoon, and this is where we got up to today. So I was going to clad out today, so I've clad out here, as you can see, all the way around. You can see I put 45s in there, I'll put a 45 in there, and I'm working on a 45 there. I've just got that piece to do yet, but while I've been doing this, I've been sanding out the marks and giving the sharp edge a bit of a polish. Then the next step for me, once I finish this bit here, is to then get a router and put a bull nose all the way around this radius and raise these timbers up to this gap, which will lift it that much, which is about the thickness of one of these. See, the thickness of this, which is 18 millimeters off the ground. I've also quickly taken care of all the little offcuts that are knocking him out, thrown him in the fire to burn that, and that's the waste, which I can still use on other little projects. So I like to keep stuff. I've got some more waste there. It's not a lot. That's from many different projects. So come tomorrow, I should have this one clad out. And as I said, route to the edge. Once it's all routed, then sand the whole lot. Then raise those, and then oil it. So we're about a day away from where we want to be. Laters all, bye. Captain's log, Earth date the 4th of September of 2024. The time is 3:10 in the afternoon, and I'm stopping for the day, but this is what I've been up to today so far. Camstorm out. So I finally did the cladding all the way around, and I've got the radius out. I've also built a door. It's not hung yet because I've still got to get hinges, and we're going doing a trip to the we'll be doing a trip in the next few days, but to a little cupboard, right? So that's just like resting in there for the minute. There we go. Alright. I've still got to build a door for that, and a door for that, right? Then the next bit is to put a trim all the way around the edge, just on that edge there and that edge there, and then sand the whole thing out, and then oil it. So that's about where we are. So not a lot to go now, which looks pretty decent right now. Okay, see you later, bye. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Not 100% finished, as I've said, but that's what she looks like once she's dressed up. Not too bad. Won't be long now, mate. I'll be in here enjoying it. Ladies all, bye. Captain's log, 12th of September of 2024, and today I've been working on my Scandinavian spar look, and I've managed to put one door on, latch, two handles, one latch, two hinges there, and I've built up another door, one latch, two hinges. This edge here has got to get sanded along that way to flush it out, and then I've got one more to go down there, and then we'll be able to sand and oil. So we're virtually there, but I've run out of time, energy and motivation right now. The weather's been a bit funny today, so I'm stopping, going inside. Ladies all, see ya, bye. Captain's log, Earth date the 14th of September of 2024. The time is 1:45 in the afternoon. It's a relatively decent day, as you can see. We've got a bit of cloud cover. It's cold, but in the sun it's still warm. Anyway, continuing with the spa barbecue area and the Scandinavian look. Today I've put a door on over there. So we've got three doors, 1, 2, 3, and now I'm working on this tricky little piece over here. And here's a tool that I used to use when I was a kid. I'll introduce you in case you don't know what it is. This is called a profile gauge, yeah, and as you can see there's a shape there. So the way this works is, if you get an area like that, as long as this is vertical 100%, I've already plumbed it up to check, you take and you push it onto, you push it, literally push it onto the object. So for example, let's see, let's push it like that, for example. Say, oh, it's locked. The way it works is, to get a profile, you just push it, right, and it'll give you your shape that you're looking for. So I did that, as you can see. Now I've got two, but that's not relevant. I've already done the work. And then you transfer it to your wood. So we know that that's the bottom of the windowsill. We know that's the thickness of the windowsill. And then that's the angle. And the way we know that is by the gauge. See, that fits there, just like such. Perfect. And then that allows you to be able to cut that bit out as required to fit into tricky areas. So I used to use these when I was young, and I was working in engineering. I was doing it during my apprenticeship, and I learned how to utilize them. But then back in those days they were made out of metal, and they were far heavier and also longer. But it's a pretty cool little product. They make them out of plastic these days. You've got measurements in metric and imperial on it. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, on both sides. And other than that, it's also got magnets. So if you're working with metal, these are magnetic strips, so it'll stick to metal, and it just holds it for you, so it's pretty handy. So now that I've marked that out, it now gets cut out with a jigsaw and fit it in there, and then we'll have a little piece to fit in the end there, which we will get. I'll show you how to do that when I get to it, but at the moment I've got to work on this. So what's left to do on this at the moment is fill in that final gap. We're trying to close it up so that there's no ingress of vermin. I've got an edge just over here which needs to be sanded off with the belt sander, and the final trim along this edge and there, after which the entire structure will get sanded and oiled, and then on the insert just between the two over there on this side, shadows in the way, on this side we get a carpet surround all the way around and staple it on, and then we're done. And then later on I will probably build a lid to go over the top of that as well, which saves me having to deflate it and remove it every time that we've used it, and then have to refill it so it can stay there on a more permanent basis. Also, yesterday I went up to all these edges all the way along, and Alison was absolutely freaking out because I was crawling on polycarbonate, which is only plastic, and I'm a heavy guy, so I went all the way along there. But I did put out boards to spread the load, and I did flushing tape all the way around, which means on the outside of the building, on the top of the building, when the rain hits it, it no longer runs down, because it's been running down and dripping just there. And now I'm going to, well, at least that's dry now, so now I can continue with the sanding and the oiling and the preservation. Right, so there's lots to do, not all today. That's a whole pallet of cement bags which has to get removed so that we can lay out the furniture. And not only that, I also still need to level up these slabs finally. So a lot to do, but there we go. That's where we are at the moment. See ya. Bye. I've done another profile over there to cut that piece to make it fit. As you can see, that was the angle that I created, and now I'm just trying to slot this last piece in, which I've just cut. Oh, that was the wrong piece. So now I've got to get that angle to transfer to there. Now the best way to do this that I know of is just take something that's bigger than the angle, like this for example, and lay it on the window ledge, inscribe it over there, which will give me the angle. I then take that and I transfer it. So I'm using it, well, I'll just use a piece of wood in this occasion, but that just pretty much goes along there, right? And all I've got to do is cut that piece off, which means that this will then slot in, and then I can work out the height from the windowsill to there, which will get cut off wherever that's going to be. So hypothetically, I'm going to say it's about there somewhere, and that piece there is the piece I'm looking for. That's waste. That's waste. Just that bit there, but it's not a lot of waste because these are offcuts anyway. So we'll see how it works. I've transferred that. The next thing I do is cut that. So I'm going to go that side and cut. Let's see how this works out now. Come on, this side. And I'm using a skill saw. Okay. Which gives me that angle, right? Come around that side again. And in theory, this should work now. So if I slot it in, because it's tongue and groove, bish bash bosh, as you can see. Yeah, I've just got to transfer that line across now. So I'll just use a, what shall we use? Shall we use the profile gauge for that, I think? Yeah, let's use the profile gauge. No. Yes, no, I don't know. Let's find out. So if I go across there, can you see this? Now I wasn't far off, that's where I guesstimated, and that's where I need to cut it. I'll do that now. And in theory, that's the little piece I need. Let's see how this works out. So that piece goes in there. Boom. Almost like I've done this before. That is all. So next step I've got to do here, I'm taking a piece of wood. You can see if I push this along, it's hitting this edge just over here. That's a bit proud. You can see the gap it's forming. So what I need to do is get that edge off so that this is flush. And the only way I can do that will be with a belt sander. So we'll hit this now with a belt sander across it like such and try and level it off. Oh, I might have to move that a little bit. Okay, let's move that. That's the dog's carpet. And that belt sander should get to everywhere. So here goes. It's going to be a bit noisy. Alright, so I can do this a different way, but I'm not going to do it a different way. Would be to get a saw and cut it, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to damage this wood. So it just takes a bit longer, and I'll sand that out, and then once I've got it all sanded out to the level that I need it to be, I'll take probably take a orbital sander, or yeah, an orbital sander, and then just round that edge off so that it matches the top. But right now you'll see that little bit that I've done. Oops, there we go. I've got a wee bit to go, but it's almost there now. So yeah, it stops. It's a bad piece of wood actually, but let's try it this way around. So this way it just slides, yeah, and then over here you can see it's knocking. So here it's not knocking, here it's knocking, and now I'll do that all the way from the top to the bottom, and then once I've got it all leveled, then I'll come and I'll tidy up the edge. So I'll show you when I'm done. So cheers for that, just education. Later.